How do we know that a person's life has not yet been impacted by the Word of God? How do we know that your own life has not yet been transformed by the Word of God? The easiest way to find this is to check what occupies a person's prayer life. I'm not even talking about praying long or praying loud. I'm talking about the prayer points that emanate from a person's spirit. When you find somebody that has not been transformed by the Word of God but is a Christian, their prayer life and their prayer points will be more about what they want. I want this. Father, do this for me. Father, have you not seen this? Father, prove yourself to me. It will always be about them. Remember that the Word of God in John 1:1 was revealed to us to be a person, not letters. The Word of God is Jesus. And so when a person studies the Word the way they ought to, there will be a diffusion of the nature of God in their spirit. That is when you begin to find that their prayer points will begin to change from I to thy will be done. Look at the life of Jesus. Jesus was one person that taught us what it means to be one with the Father. Every time Jesus prayed, it was not about him, but thy will be done. Even at the moment of arrest, when it looks as if Jesus was consumed by fear, his prayer point changed to, Lord, take this cup away from me. We still saw Jesus changing and restructuring that prayer point back to the will of the Father. And he said, not my will, but thy will be done. The same Jesus also told the apostles in the book of John 24, telling his disciples that the food I eat is not the food you eat. The food I eat is the master's will. He said, for the master's will is my meat. So Jesus has revealed to us time and time again what it means to be engrossed and occupied and filled with the Word of God. It will affect your prayer points. The Word of God is meant to make you an oracle, not just one that speaks the mind of God, but one that carries the burden of Zion. That is why when you see Apostle Paul, when he encountered Jesus, his burden changed. It went from persecuting a church for a good reason, because Apostle Paul was not persecuting the church because he was evil. In his mind, he thought he was defending the historic values of the Jews. But when he encountered the word of life, Jesus himself, the burden of Apostle Paul's heart changed and went from persecuting to capturing and preserving a generation for God. So you see, the Word of God does not just fill us with knowledge, it transforms our desire, it transforms our will. So when you find yourself always consumed with what I want, Father, I want to be rich, Father, I want to be this, Father, I want to marry, Father, when that consumes your prayer point, it's so funny that somebody will be fasting and still yet their prayer point will be about themselves. Then what is the Word of God doing to you? Do you think the Word of God is just for preaching? Or the Word of God is to mark register that you are a Christian? No, the Word of God is meant to transform us. The Bible reveals to us in the book of 2 Corinthians, it said, as we behold the Word of God with an unveiled face, we are being transformed from one glory to another. The more we consume the Word of God is the more we are being transformed. And when a person is transformed, you will easily know by what comes out as prayer points from the mouth. It will always be about thy kingdom come, thy will be done. The same way we saw Jesus in the book of Matthew 6 teaching us how to pray. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. It's about the nature of a man's heart that has been captured by the Word of God. So if you want to really check how much of your heart has been consumed by the Word of God, check what makes up your prayer point. Please take your time, study the entire New Testament. What you find them saying or teaching as a form of prayer is always the will of God, that I may know him, the power of his resurrection, the fellowship of his suffering, be made conform unto his death. Every time we study the Word of God, it will transform our heart, transform our spirit, and affect what comes out of us, even in our prayer time.